EA Sports just dropped a massive update for Madden 25, by far the biggest update of the year. They fixed a bunch of the meta and cheesy stuff on defense that was dominating the game. They fixed a bunch of other issues in franchise mode. They added stuff to the game like new equipment, face scans, and they even finally put back the custom playbooks for online head-to-head, which I know a lot of people have been asking for the last 2 months. So this is going to be probably a little bit of a longer video. There's a lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to go over everything that changed, show you some of the new stuff, and everything in between. Now, if you're new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of these important updates, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on because they update the game multiple times a month and you don't want to miss out on any of these important videos. So let's first start with the gameplay. Gameplay got a very significant update today. And first we got to start with coverage. It says that they improved the box call logic to cover 4 quarters and cover 4 palms to better defend passes out of bunch formations, which is huge. And it says here the box check is a zone check made by the defense in cover 4 match plays versus bunch and tight formation. It intends to have 4 defenders box in 3 receivers. It is a zone match concept, so coverage defenders will initially read the play while they drop into their zones and then match up in man coverage on the receivers who enter their zone. Now, this is one of the reasons that bunch and tight formations can be hard to stop because the game never has the correct logic out of these match coverages to properly stop them. So hopefully now this means we'll be able to much easier stop some of those bunch concepts. They also fixed an issue causing deep zone defenders to react inappropriately to pump fakes, leaving receivers wide open deep. This was the pump fake glitch. It kind of caught on over the last week or so. So good to see that they got that fixed very quickly. They fixed an issue causing the deep third hot route to default to the right third by default, regardless of the player's position on the field when using the deep third hot route on the left. The hot route will now appropriately go to the left. Now, this was another huge bug in the game that maybe a lot of people didn't notice, but if you're somebody that makes adjustments on defense, this was a complete pain. Glad that they finally got that fixed. They also fixed an issue causing some press animations to press the receiver too far up the field. They did some tuning to improve outside deep zone defending position, cushioning, and leverage versus corner routes. Another great fix because those deep zones were just giving up corners way too easily. They also fixed an issue preventing the switch stick delay setting from saving incorrectly after changing it in the gameplay settings menu. Many of you have complained about this. When you would change your switch stick delay, it would just go back to default after changing it. So now that should be fixed. Moving on to passing and catching. It says they did some tuning to reduce the passing accuracy on high throw mechanic on the competitive game style. Another great fix. High balls were completely overpowered on competitive online gameplay. People would high ball every pass. There should be some risk reward to it. So again, another really great fix. They fixed an issue causing the revamped pass meter to show red on a dead-eye perfect throw. They did some tuning to decrease the pass accuracy of mid-tier quarterbacks based on their rating. So I know the sim guys will love that. They want some more variance in the mid-tier versus high-tier quarterback accuracy, so that should be good. They fixed an issue causing linebackers to appear to float in the air too long on jumping interceptions. And they fixed an issue causing all the ball carriers to hold the ball in the wrong hand after making a lunging catch. Now, we're going to continue on with the rest of the updates, and trust me, there's a bunch of them, but we have to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog. They've been a huge supporter of the channel, and if you love sports and you like winning money, then you've got to be on Underdog playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. But my favorite thing about Underdog is that they give you free plays when you sign up, and they give you free money to play with, and you just can't beat that. So, for example, if you sign up and you want to play for tomorrow's Thursday night game, they're going to give you Bo Nix to get a single yard. That means all you have to do is pass for 1 yard and that's it, you win. If you want to wait and you want to play during the weekend, they're going to give you Aaron Rodgers to get a single yard. For the Monday night game, they're going to give you Kyler Murray to get a single yard. And no matter when you sign up, there's going to always be a free play just like this for you to take advantage of. And with the NBA season starting in a week, there's going to be a ton of NBA specials next week on top of the NFL specials, so make sure you get in so you don't miss out on them. And if you sign up using my code RAY, R-A-Y, they'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash to play with, and you just can't beat that. Now, they also did a lot of pre-snap alignment updates today, and some of these are very important, so I'll pop them up on the screen here. Some of these might not mean much to you. Some of these are just about how the defense would leave certain players uncovered in certain formations or coverage shells, but one of the important ones here, if you go a few bullet points down, it says that they fixed an issue allowing the D-line adjustment slant inside to put multiple rushers through the same gaps. They also did global tuning to D-line shifts on double A-gap alignments to reduce unrealistic unrealistic alignments leading to exploit blitzes. They also did tuning to pre-snap D-line pinch assignment locations in nickel wide. Now, if you play online, you probably know what this is. This is all of those blitzes like double A gap and the different ways that people will try to sneak a rusher through the line kind of untouched or have them disengage from the blocker very quickly when you're only rushing like 4 players, because you would slant everybody inside and it would kind of confuse the O-line. So now all of those meta style defenses that people were using online, they don't work anymore. People have already tested them out and they said that they just don't work nearly as good because you can no longer fully slant your defensive line inside in some of these formations in order to get that glitchy disengage rush from only rushing a few people. So this is actually a very good quality of life fix for the game, because if you like to play online and you don't want to be too sweaty but you're going up against people that use stuff like this, it can be very frustrating because you don't have much time to pass. So they have fixed a lot of that, as well as some other pre-snap alignment issues. Moving on to the settings and UI, they fixed an issue causing the no clock runoff in online head-to-head ranked games with the accelerated clock toggled on. This was definitely another issue. Glad that they fixed that. They fixed an issue where the controller would still vibrate after the vibration setting was toggled off. They fixed an issue preventing the indicators from updating after subbing players into the game. They fixed a rare issue causing the celebration wheel to get stuck on the screen, and they fixed an issue causing the pass block targeting lines to sometimes not appear when entering the pass block assignment menu. That's another very good fix, because if you can't see the correct targeting lines, then you don't even know what you're doing when you're trying to adjust your line. So all of those really good fixes, but the biggest thing so far in this update is definitely the fixes to defense. They were much needed for about a month now. Moving on to playbooks, we got some minor playbook changes here. So they did tuning to AI play call tendencies to make AI controlled teams more balanced between run and pass based on real life tendencies. Another one for the sim heads here. I know the sim heads love this, especially in franchise mode. How well will this work though? That's kind of, you have to play the game to see, because they say this type of stuff every year and you know, it always leaves a lot to be desired. So we'll see how it works now, but good that they're trying to make efforts to make the AI teams play more realistic. They also fixed an issue preventing custom audibles from working correctly when resuming a saved game. They fixed an issue that allowed the same play to be set for multiple custom audibles. They updated various typos and inconsistencies in play names, and they fixed an issue showing a defender with the wrong gap assignment under the 4-3 Sam Crash 3. Now we got some other general gameplay fixes as well. We're still on gameplay. We haven't even gotten to franchise mode and any of that stuff yet. Like I said, big update, but here for general gameplay, they fixed a rare issue causing a blocker to sometimes warp backwards on a play action pass. They fixed a rare issue causing players to awkwardly slide across the field when trying to get up after 2 consecutive physics-based tackle hit sticks. They also added logic to prevent defenders from instantly disengaging to the outside when giving a slant inside defensive line adjustment meant to force them to play the gap they have been assigned. So this is kind of another thing that goes along with some of those meta defenses. They did a lot of little things here to try to address the fact that people were glitching the defense, and it seems like so far from what people have tested, like I said earlier, that it seems to have worked, so that's good. Now let's jump into franchise mode. So they fixed a bunch of issues here. It says they addressed an issue where non-commissioners could edit the height and weight of players. I feel like that was an issue last year as well, so they had to fix it 2 years in a row. They resolved an issue where the in-game ticker displayed incorrect game stats. They resolved an issue where league leaders and stats were not generated correctly on their respective lists. They fixed an issue where trading for a player and then editing them could update the player's portrait and model to a generated one. So that was a big one from day one. I saw a lot of people complain about that. You edit a player and then he just turns to a generic player. So glad that they got that fixed, because that's super annoying. They resolved an issue where names of players created on Team Builder Team were announced incorrectly during the in-game presentations. They resolved a PC related issue where leagues were not generally mocking drafts during the season. They also fixed a PC issue where the scouting report grade screen briefly appeared after making a pick during the draft. They resolved an issue where the change focus player filter went out of view on the weekly strategy training screen. They fixed an issue where primetime game logos did not appear on the franchise hub after the first season. They resolved an issue where users were taken back to the onboarding select roster screen after backing out from the customized coach screen before creating a new league. They addressed issues where the draft timer continued to operate even when set to off in league settings. things. They resolved an issue where team builder uniforms failed to load after a disconnection and resuming the previous game. They removed instances where wrong messages could fire in the messages panel surrounding players winning player of the week, John Coachman, player sacks, and player rushing attempts, and they did some general stability improvements as well. We also got a few things for superstar mode here. They fixed an issue where free agent contracts were not renewed correctly. They fixed the draft projection logic. They fixed issues with animations in the feature deals store, and they did some general stability improvements as well. For online ranked head-to-head, this is the big one people have been asking for. Custom playbooks have been re-enabled for online head-to-head, and it says the ability to choose amongst different commentary teams is now supported. Two very huge things that people who play online have been asking for. We knew that the custom playbooks were going to be re-enabled shortly after the game dropped because they said before it came out that they were not going to work as soon as the game dropped because they made a bunch of changes to the playbook system, that it would take a few updates before we got it. So we finally have the ability to use those custom playbooks again. I know people are happy about that, and the fact that you could change commentary teams is good as well because some people like one over the other, so that's good to see. We also got some presentation updates. It says they fixed the location of the broadcast camera for the Dallas Cowboys AT&T Stadium. They fixed the camera angle for the player of the game in Superstar Showdown, and they fixed various issues with camera obstructions. Moving on to the art stuff, the Browns Stadium has been rebranded to the Huntington Bank Field, so that is something I know people were asking for. They also added quite a few new player likeness face scans. Not really a whole bunch here. There may be more than what's listed because usually there are more than what's listed. So if I do come across more, I'll make a separate video. But these are the ones that they have listed right now. We've got Deron Bland from the Cowboys. I don't even know if he's played yet this year. I know he's been hurt. Maybe he's played. I don't think he has though. But he was really, really big for them last year. So they got his likeness in the game now. Here we have a veteran that's been needed for a long time. Danielle Hunter of the Texans, longtime Vikings player. They finally got his face scan in the game, looking good. Another veteran that we've been needing for a while, Jesse Bates, one of the best, if not maybe the best safety in the league. I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask. There's a few guys you could probably argue there. Jesse Bates, definitely one of those guys, especially for the last few years. Finally got his likeness in the game. It's been long overdue. And again, sometimes these take a while because players just don't make the effort to get scanned into the game. They don't care that much about it. So EA has to go out to the facilities, or, you know, they try to get them into the office. So some of these veterans, that's why they're not in the game, or it takes so long. Moving on here, we've got Kyron Williams, the young star running back of the Rams. He is now in the game, had a big season last year, has been having a pretty good year so far this year as well, so got his likeness in the game. Somebody for my Saints, finally. I feel like my Saints don't get a lot of player likeness that often. We got Rashid Shaheed, a guy that kind of bursted on the scene the last couple years. This year, he's been having, you know, a pretty good year, a really big play guy. He finally gets his likeness in the game, so I'm glad to see that. We've got AJ Cole, the punter of the Raiders, one of the better punters in the league. We got him. We don't really see a lot of punter and kicker likeness get added too often, but lately they've been updating these a little bit more than they had been in the past. We're starting to get more of them. Speaking of punters, we've got Brian Anger, the punter of the Cowboys. So again, they're kind of slowly starting to do punters and kickers. They really never did many of them in the past. Like Justin Tucker was one of the few that they had, and now they're starting to update and add for these guys as well. And we've got Miles Killebrew of the Steelers, who is a vet. He's been in the league a long time as well, and he's not a highly rated guy. So kind of a random guy to get in, especially when you factor in that Steelers fans have been waiting for guys like Pickens and Harris for so many years. Again, they must just not really care about being in the game. That's why they're not there. Maybe one day, but it's just funny when you see like a very low rated veteran sometimes just happens to get a face scan, and this is one of those instances right here. We also got some new equipment. We always love getting new equipment, and this year they've been doing a good job with it. We got a bunch of face masks and some other stuff earlier in the year. Now we're getting some new gloves added. We've got the Nike VaporJet 8.0 glove, as you can see here. So love getting new equipment. Love when they stay on top of this. There's still definitely more that they can be doing and they should be doing, but you know, last few years they've definitely been doing a better job with this. We've got the Nike Superbad 7 glove, so trying to stay up to date with the latest versions of some of this stuff, or at least I think it's some of the latest versions of these. I don't know, but maybe these are just ones that they never had in the game yet. They also had the Jordan Flylock 2.0 glove, so we got some Nike, got some Jordan. Good to see that. We also got some new cleats in the game. We got some Adidas stuff here with the Adidas Impact 2. So if you're, you know, one of those Adidas guys, you like to rep the 3 stripes, you got some new cleats here. You've also got the Adidas Electric 1. So a couple of new options there for the Adidas guys Always like to see that. We've also got the Jordan mid 11. Love to see that. So we've been having the Jordan 11 lows for a while. I want to say at one point the Jordan mid or high 11 was in the game years back. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it never was. I felt like it was, but maybe not. But regardless, we have it in the game now, which I always thought was kind of funny because for a lot of years, it seems like most of the Jordans that are in the game, you have the low and the mid version, but the 11 for some reason, they only had the low. So now they have the mid. Now it also says here that they adjusted some captain patches on a few teams that didn't have them, so that has been fixed. And they also fixed an issue causing all 3 flak jacket options to appear the same in the player editor. So now you should see the different versions of the flak jacket instead of them all looking the same. So again, love to see that they're, taking equipment seriously. They're adding more and more. They've done a pretty good job so far in the early part of this year doing a lot of stuff with equipment. So hopefully they keep adding more of that. And we also got some audio fixes. I mean, literally every area of this game pretty much got an update here. They fixed various commentary bugs where speech can sometimes fire incorrectly for timeouts, incomplete passes, touchdown analysis, player names on imported team builder rosters, post, fumble in overtime, and field goals. They also updated commentary to reflect the following changes. The Browns Stadium was rebranded to the Huntington Bank Field, and also there was rebranding of the Commander Stadium to the Northwest Stadium. And it says all songs are now on by default in the EA Music playtest for new players. This includes stadium music, the new Madden theme, and the new Super Bowl theme song, so that's cool as well. And if you're an Ultimate Team player, today does kick off Season 3 in Ultimate Team. I know a lot of you here don't really care about Ultimate Team, but if you are Ultimate Team player, there's a ton of new field passes and players and packs and all that good stuff to go after as Season 3 officially kicks off today for Madden. So every area of the game got love today, and you love to see that. Now, if you're also interested in College Football 25, we've got an update for that probably coming this week, maybe tomorrow, not sure. But if you want to know about some of the things we can expect, check out this video right here on the screen.